It seems to me that life keeps asking us a question from the time we're born, and it keeps asking the question over and over: do you love? And we don't understand, not only do we not understand the question, we don't even know it's being asked. We think life is asking us, can you be successful? Can you look good? Can you make enough money? Can you survive? It's actually not asking those questions at a deep level. It's really asking, can you love this world? Can you love other beings, people, animals, and nature? Can you love being alive? Can you have the spirit of love going through your life or not? If not, what is there? What is it? What is it that drives you? What is your motivation for getting through each day? It seems to me that we we don't answer that question correctly because we don't realize that it's being asked and that it is a very important question. It really has to do with if we're living as ourselves, as if we can find and center ourselves in some kind of innate energy we were born with, appreciate it, love it, and develop it, and put it forth into the world. It seems to me that's what this is all about. It's pretty obvious that we have barriers to that. We have inhibitions and difficulties with it. The challenges are our culture, our language, our ideas, our beliefs, our identities that we develop, that we become so attached to. Um, all of these things that actually have little or nothing to do with love are what we're actually focused on. And we're taught to do that by our culture. All through our growing up, we want to look good and be approved of by the people around us, our parents, adults, teachers, people in our community and in our circle, in our church, maybe. Um, and if we don't quite feel that we're getting what we deserve or what we long for, we change ourselves. We try to make ourselves into an acceptable product for. Boy, I tell you, that's the wrong path. That is the way to screw up your life for good. Um, if we can actually settle down and get calm enough to see what kind of thinking we have, what kind of hopes we have, what kind of identity we're unconsciously working on, we might be able to start letting go of some of these things that keep us from seeing that actually everything is built on love. Everything is one thing. And we all, it looks to me like we come into this world almost as a way to challenge ourselves to see through this idea that we're separate, to see through this feeling that is given to us by our five senses, that actually those senses are fairly dim. They don't really see what is going on under the surface. And all of our beliefs have a way of distracting us and creating an overlay over reality so that we don't see nature, we don't see the people that we live with, we don't see reality. We're actually, what we see is what we think and what we believe. We're actually manifesting a figment in our minds of what we believe. And that's what's real to us. And very often, that's a story of separation. That is a fiction. It's a fiction. And we can go through our whole life believing that story and missing the point. We're actually not the identity we think we are. We're something else. We're much broader, more varied. Um, we're we're not this functional person in society that we're trained to be. We're actually uh, a living being with the whole ecological and evolutionary history of existence built into us, physically and mentally and spiritually. And it's very complex. We're taught to live right on the surface, to be functional, to enjoy the simple society we're in, to live, reproduce, and die. And we have all of this potential that we don't do anything with. It's it's a little bit perplexing when you look at it. So I was just reading something by Hermann Hesse, who was saying that you can teach knowledge, but you can't teach wisdom. That anyone who tries to talk about wisdom is going to be incomprehensible. It, he will or she will sound stupid and simplistic and cliched. There's no language that can actually grasp what is beyond. And if you want to teach people, you can teach them history, you can teach them ideas, you can teach them beliefs, you can teach them techniques. Wisdom is something else. It's for me, it seems that wisdom is composed of questions, questions that are not definitively answered, but have a certain wonder to them. I feel that that's what we do as artists. That artists look at everything, especially when they're painting or creating something, and their sense of attention is extremely alive. That's what happens when you create something, you really come alive. Um, and I was just reading somebody's explanation of Joseph Campbell, who made this statement that you have to follow your bliss. That statement can be misunderstood to do what gives you pleasure. But actually, what he's trying to say there is we need to really occupy ourselves in a disciplined way, in a committed way that brings us alive, whatever it is. I know for myself, it has to do with the arts, and but whatever it is for you, that's once you touch that, you know why you're here, and that is um, something all of us should ask ourselves: can we touch that? Have we ever touched that? And if not, why not? Um, and if we do have a difficulty, we feel that that is not an element in our lives, that is something to investigate. That's something to find out about because it's crucial. It's very important for all of us to feel alive.